Welcome everyone, I'm Jim with Jeep with Jim, and today I'm super excited about these Diode Dynamics RGBW rock lights. Man, they're going to be awesome. They're amber, they're red, they're blue, they're green, and white. So a little bit more than just RGB. I've got rock lights on my Jeep right now, but they just don't give off enough light. Oh, plus on top of that, they don't have the natural white that I'm looking for. Also, I've got the RGBW controller from Diode Dynamics, so we're going to go use this as well. And I'll show you how to do this just in short and kind of give you some tips that I find as I go. Let's get started. So when I put the rock lights in before, what I did is I ran them right here underneath my seat. So there's a nice little drain plug that goes underneath the seat here, and I ran my wires out of that drain plug into the controller for that one right there, and then of course to my auxiliary ports on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one right here in the center of the door frame, and in the back we're going to put another one in the center of the door frame. First thing we're going to do to make this job a little bit easier, we're going to go and get these seat bolts out on both seats, the front and the back seat bolts on the passenger seat, and front and back seat bolts on the driver's seat. We use the drain plugs to come outside of the Jeep with the lead wires to plug into the rock lights. There's a nice gap underneath the console where we can run our wires from one side of the Jeep to the other. We're going to put the Bluetooth controller on the passenger side, and then we'll run the wire over to here. And so what I wanted to show you was I removed the glove box and I found my auxiliary wires tucked up underneath the back end of the glove box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire up my Bluetooth controller to this, run it through the carpet, out through the other side of the console, down to there, outside of the Jeep, and underneath is where I'm going to connect up the rock lights on the driver's side. And then on the passenger side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use this drain hole right here to actually run my wires out. This should go pretty quick. So this is the connector I'm going to wire up to my aux wires here. I wired up the orange wire with the pink stripe because it's my aux 3 to the connector. I ran the black wire with an extra lead to a ground point underneath the seat. And then what I'll do is I'll tuck the Bluetooth controller up underneath the dash after I run the leads for the rock lights from underneath the car through the car and into these. And one of the things I've learned over the years is to test things before you final wire it. And so what I'll do here is connect up one of the rock lights to the lead here. Then I'll turn on the ignition and we'll test the Bluetooth controller to see if it actually does what it's supposed to do. All right, with everything wired up, I'm going to go ahead and plug in the Bluetooth controller, pop on auxiliary 3, and there we go. The Bluetooth controller lights up. Looks like it's working. So let's go ahead and get these wires run through the inside of the vehicle to the outside of the vehicle. So Diode Dynamics sends ample wire. We're going to go and run this through the vehicle. Now with that done, we want to mount the rock lights underneath the Jeep high enough on the body so that when we're off-roading, we don't have to worry about them getting damaged. So I'm going to do that by zip tying these to part of the body, and I'll show you where. So as we're down here on the ground and we get up underneath the Jeep, we can see that probably not a good idea to attach them to the actual frame. Instead, what we'll do is we'll come up underneath here and we'll zip tie them to these right here. The nice openings right here. Good place for them, close to the center of the door, which is exactly where we want it. So we'll put them right here, and then in the back, since we don't have the same mount location on the undercarriage of the Jeep, we've got a nice piece of plastic right here that we'll go ahead and mount it up to. Now I may reposition these later on, but for right now I just want to get them connected up and see how they look. Just to give you an idea where I connected them up, go up underneath. One got connected up here, and the other one got connected up here. We're going to go ahead and test it out before we get everything done and put it all back together. And it's not exactly dusk right now, so we'll go ahead and put them on. Pop them on, you can see. Got some lights, they're working just fine. I'll go ahead and do the same thing on the driver's side, and I'll show them off to you when I'm all done. All right, so the driver's side's all wired up. Let's go ahead and check out these lights over here. We'll turn them on. All right, and we'll give them some glowing. Looks pretty good. Same thing, looking pretty good. We'll go ahead and put everything back together, do some cable management, and then we'll show them off to you. All right, here I am. It's definitely sundown. I have to say I'm super pleased with this Diode Dynamics rock lights. It is amazing how easy they were to install, how fast it went in, how simple they are to control. And so here's the big reveal. New rock lights underneath the body of the Jeep. Didn't have these before. Love them. They look great. Like I said, super easy to install. I may change the position of them just so that I can get a little bit more light on the ground, but I'm very, very pleased with these. They turned out better than I could have imagined. And the true white is really true white. Here's my other RGBs. Don't get me wrong, they look good, but the true white looks just phenomenal. An actual real white. Poppin' green. Diode Dynamics, needless to say, I am super pleased. They look absolutely phenomenal. They were so easy to install. I'm so surprised. It was the one lighting piece that was missing on the lighting puzzle of my Jeep. The Bluetooth controller from Diode Dynamics is an absolute must-have. If you're gonna put those rock lights on, you definitely wanna get that thing. I'm so glad I installed these. I'm so glad I've got them. I got a night ride coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm even gonna go so far as to probably replace the rock lights I've got in my wheel wells with the Diode Dynamics because they just pop. You just can't go wrong with these rock lights. If you don't have rock lights, Diode Dynamics, get them.